morning from London Heathrow. Today we're going to be flying British Airways' Club Europe and putting it up against Iberia's short-haul business class. So now we just need to go and check in here and drop off our bags and then head through security, go to the lounge. Made it through security. At a point that pat-down telly, I got screened again. Alright, now we're going for the North Lounge and eat our first breakfast.
Okay, so we made it to the British Airways North Lounge. This lounge had tons of cold fruits, as well as a hot meal selection.
Alright, out of the lounge now, going to our gate. Pretty good lounge for my second visit at that North Lounge. All food options were there, and there was tons of seating. Alright, boarding pass is scanned, and now we can make our way onto our Airbus A320neo for the day.
So now as we are about to get onto the plane, I realise I haven't given you much information about British Airways, so I'm going to give you some of the reviews about British Airways and their club class. It said they were a professional airline, great flight food and drink service, but on the other hand people say, lost luggage, I wish. Awful customer service and an awful experience, never flying them again, as well as a disgrace. This Airbus A320neo jet is arranged in a 3-3 configuration for the entire cabin. And for today's flight, I will be sitting in 5F.
Hello. Hi, good morning. So on board this Club Europe flight now with British Airways.
Starting off with the tray table, which struggled to come down, but also fully extended, which I was happy to see. There's also the seat pouch at the back of the seat, which was very small, having things like the safety card. There's this little table in the middle, and because the middle seat was blocked off, we could put our baggage under there, meaning we had tons of legroom. There was this little headrest cover on top of the padded headrest with the wing flap, which was super comfy as well as the rest of the seat. Making our way over to the overhead panel, I found the reading light, which thankfully worked, as well as the air conditioning, which was great to see. And there is also tons of space for bags. Also, there are charging ports. And now let's test out the recline, which actually goes pretty far back.
Okay, so they've brought out these menus.
As you would expect for a 6:15 AM flight, they'll be serving breakfast. And I'll definitely be showing you what I got in a few minutes.
Okay, so on board the flight now. They're still doing baggage and it's quite a bit past departure time. Look at this. Baggage is still being loaded into the hold. And it's like 6:38 and well past our departure time of 6:15. 38 minutes behind schedule, but we're off now.
For our first flight today, we'll be flying 2 hours and 25 minutes from London Heathrow to Madrid, Spain.
Okay guys, our food has been delivered and here is what we got. I got the traditional English breakfast, some with a bowl of fruit and some croissants, and quite good actually. And then here's our cutlery, nicely branded with this British Airways sign. Alright, let's eat.
So now I decided to check out the bathroom, which had decent headroom, this little thing, as well as the toilet, and all the things you'd expect in an A320neo bathroom. And there was also a coat hook on the door, which is a nice touch.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Take care.
All right, off the plane now. Let's go see what we gotta do. We're having a hard time navigating Madrid Airport because we can't find flight connections for our second flight here. Well, it's quite sunny. And here have the letter gates just like Santorini did, but fingers crossed we can find the gate and the lounge. Alright, we finally found flight connections. Okay, gate not shown, but we do know which set of gates it's going to be. It's going to be the HJK gates. We need to find the lounge. Okay, we've got our boarding pass for our second flight here into our next location. And this is the tarmac out here. It's quite empty for a major airport. But now we have to take a transit to the boarding gates and the lounge. Fingers crossed that goes well.
This lounge had tons of brownies and a fruit selection. And next to it there was a freezer with magnums in it. But here is the candy section, as well as hot food and salads.
Okay, out of the lounge now and walking for our gate. We're at H27 and we have no clue where that is. Alright, we have made it to our gate H27. Boarding pass time now.
They're British.
Yeah.
See.
So at this point I realised I haven't given you much information about Iberia and their airline, so let me explain. Few people said they had good service and great service from Iberia after a cancelled flight. But on the other hand, people said that they're terrible and to never choose Iberia Airlines. This Airbus A319 jet is arranged in a 3-3 configuration for the entire aircraft. However, in business class, the middle seat is blocked off. And this is very inaccurate, but for today's flight, I will be sitting in the last row of business class, and that is 6F. For today's flight, we will be flying 45 minutes to San Sebastian. So after making it on board, you can see how all the seats look like this.
Alright, we are on the Airbus A319 now from Iberia, and here we go, seat tour.
We've got this little cubby at the top of the seat having things like the safety pamphlet. There's the tray table, which is really nice and large, and it also came out, which is great to see. There's also this coat hook on the seat, and there's tons of legroom, but the seat was as hard as a rock. And now let's test out the recline, which went about as far as British Airways. Making my way over to the overhead panel, found the air conditioning, which in the European heat needs to work, and thankfully it did, as well as the light, which I was happy to see.
Okay, well, we've heard a new thing. The fuel people didn't load enough fuel into the plane, so now we need to keep getting fueled up, and we're already on board, so the jetty has to be reattached and to be ordered to do that. I'm putting my estimate on we're going to be about half an hour to 45 minutes delayed, which is about the time of this flight. 25 minutes late now, but we're off.
Attention crew, have slice and cross check.
Alright, half an hour behind schedule, the thrust levers are set on the runway and it's time to take off. 45-minute flight, I quickly rushed to the bathroom, which had decent headroom and all of the things you'd expect in a A319 bathroom. It was quite small, but...
So unlike British Airways, there's not a full meal on this service. Probably because this flight is only 45 minutes compared to 2 hours and 25 minutes. So this is what we got. I just got a Fanta and some chips as well. So that's all that we get. We could probably ask for more drinks as well. A very friendly crew on board too. I'm gonna eat now. So just like a little short flight for 45 minutes. By the time I go to have a quick meal service, it's already descent time, and we've been descending for the last 2 minutes over the sea, whatever it's called, and we'll be landing quite soon.
But now it's time to come into a landing. We flew over a beach and also a marina before finally coming into the runway. Remains. Is British Airways or Iberia's short-haul business class product better to fly?
After thinking about this for a few days now, I've come up with the 3 most important categories that we should decide who wins this. It's going to be a best of 3, meaning whoever wins 2 out of these 3 categories is the winner. The first category is their meal service, second is their seat, and third is their customer service. So we're going to see who actually wins. So their seat, right off the bat, Iberia's seat was terrible. No padded headrest and no table in the middle. British Airways' seat was much, much better. Nice, comfortable, leather padded seat, as well as a full-size padded headrest with a decent headrest cover. Their second one is their meal service. Both of them were pretty comparable. However, I do think Iberia's was just a tiny bit better because they offered me more snacks than British Airways did. However, British Airways would win because they provided a full meal service. However, the British Airways flight was much longer than the Iberia flight. Now, so I'm going to give this point to Iberia. So now the final thing is their customer service. And this is going to decide who actually wins. So all the staff was nice on both airlines. However, today, the winner I'm going to be giving to is Iberia. Because Iberia staff was so much nicer than the British Airways staff. And I felt like the British Airways staff were lacking a bit of service. However, because we were sitting on the ground for over half an hour at Heathrow. And not once did they come around asking if we were okay. And not even bringing water out. And sitting in Club Europe and in business class, that should have been happening. However, once they started the meal service, it was quite good. So that is why today the winner of the British Airways versus Iberia short-haul business class is Iberia. I'm not going to stop flying British Airways because I think they're good. And for now, I'm going to consider this a one-time issue. Fly safe and goodbye.